Hi there, all dear dreamers. This is Lisa Hayes with Dreams for Society. Today is March the 28th, 2020, and most of the world is still experiencing the lockdown effect of COVID-19. At least I think so. Many of the states in America are still pretty much locked down or in phases of unlocking. And so it goes with the challenges of that. And this has been a time for many of us to look within and discover that peace is found within, happiness is found within, and that this hero's journey that we are on is all about loving thyself unconditionally. Now, what does that mean, dear dreamer? How do we love ourselves unconditionally? That is why it's called a hero's journey. One way to start getting into that modality is a simple stepping stone. And that stepping stone is looking in the mirror and looking at your eyes, and staring at yourself for at least a minute. You can time yourself if you'd like or not. However, look at yourself and just see what you see in the depths of your eyes. Go introspectively. Discover how you feel about yourself. Do you like yourself? Do you love yourself? Are you upset with yourself? Do you hate yourself? Discover how you're feeling in the moment. And over time, if you practice this every day, you can now look in the mirror for that minute and say to yourself, stare at yourself in the mirror, eye to eye, and say, I am. And after you say, I am, say something complimentary about yourself for a minute. Like, I am happy. I am loving. I am stupendous. I am gorgeous. I am athletic. I am energetic. I am kind. I am joyful. I am a wonderful mother. Or I am a wonderful father. I am a wonderful sister. Or I am a wonderful brother. I am a wonderful daughter. Or I am a wonderful son. And on with that, so that everything you say after I am is telling yourself in the mirror that that is what you are. And you may have heard of Dr. Emoto from Japan, who died now, I think, a couple of years ago. And he was an advocate for saying things positively after he did experiments with water. And he found that saying something positively to water changed the composition of the crystalline nature of the water from like muddy gunk, if you had said I hate you to it, to a beautiful crystalline structure after you said I love you to it. And since we are mostly water, 80% possibly, that is what can happen when we tell ourselves and also know that that is who we are. Eventually we will know, because innately that is who we are, and culture has possibly brainwashed us to believe otherwise. Yet deep down we know we are pure love as an individual expression. Once we are able to say to ourselves, I am loving, and not think, oh, I'm conceited, that's not true, but to really know that we are loving, then we start to get closer to loving ourselves unconditionally, and we'll know it when we feel it. And actually, it may be a layering effect. As we get closer and closer to the pure unconditional love of ourselves, we now master this realm. And by mastering this realm, we imagine, visualize, and create with that unconditional love we feel deep within. Unconditional love perceived from without. And by that I mean that every person, place, thing, or animal we perceive is perceived with unconditional love. It is automatic because we unconditionally love ourselves. And so once we unconditionally love ourselves, we can't help but to unconditionally love everything we perceive. And that includes everything that people say to us. So in this COVID-19 quarantine, it may have been hard, especially if we've been locked down with family members, to get along. And why is that? Because we're still in the phases of getting to the end of the hero's journey where we can unconditionally love ourselves. So again, the key is unconditionally love yourself, and you will love everything unconditionally that you perceive. We will perceive everything with unconditional love. And therefore, we won't get triggered, in quotes, by anything outside of us. We will automatically have compassion for all and understand others' points of view. Our frequency will remain high at all times. Or, as the human condition does come into play, because none of us are in unconditional love modality at every given moment, we will snap out of it, though, quickly when we start to feel our frequency lower, and we will want to raise that back because it feels so amazing. We never will intend to harm or hurt others with our words or actions. Yet, if for some reason we perceive a reaction from someone that is less than comfortable, then, and our frequency lowers at that moment, we can snap out of it and realize that we are responsible again for unconditionally loving ourselves or not. We are responsible for our high frequency or our low frequency. We are not powerful enough to make someone unconditionally love themselves, or to make someone hate themselves, or to make someone mad, or to make someone happy. We aren't able to do that to anything outside of us. However, we are able to perceive that all people, places, and things are unconditionally loving themselves. Yet we must realize that we did not affect anything outside of us. It's all coming from within. So I can't make anyone happy, and I can't make anyone mad. We've heard that before. Yet do we really understand it? I can perceive that someone got mad based on something I said. And if I perceive that, then my frequency is obviously being lowered. I am lowering it because the only way that I can perceive someone being mad is I am less than unconditionally loving myself and everything I see. I'm now starting to see something less than unconditional love outside of me. And that's when I can snap out of it and raise my frequency to the closer to the unconditional love or whatever's beyond that. And then I can have compassion and understanding and see the light, the unconditional love in that person and all people, places, and things in that moment. And that's only because I have snapped out of not liking myself to rising to unconditionally loving myself. I hope that makes sense, because if I see anything bad in someone, if I see their anger or their frustration or their stupidity, that is because I have lowered my feelings or my perception of myself to something less than unconditional love, or else I would not be able to perceive that. So think about this, meditate on it, go deeply within yourself, and know that we can imagine, visualize, and create our dreams for society and our dreams for ourselves simply by knowing that we are unconditional love and that we unconditionally love everything, including ourselves. Be happy, and doors will open freely. Imagine, visualize, and create. Until next time, love and joy, Lisa.